To our first conversation now. Fitch Ratings is affirmed Nigeria's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating at B- with a stable outlook, citing the reforms being implemented by the administration of President Bola Tinubu a year ago. The global rating agency a year ago lowered the country's credit score to B- from B and attributed the downgrade to continued deterioration in government debt, servicing costs, and external liquidity, despite high oil prices in 2022. This was affirmed in May this year. Let's dig deeper into this rating. Joining us now is Mr. Femi-Dagunro, public policy analyst, joining me via Zoom. Great to have you on the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Laddie.
So we'll see Fitch there affirming Nigeria's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating at B- with a stable outlook. So it looks like Fitch is kind of impressed with the recent reforms. Quite a positive outlook.
Yes, that's impressive, and I think it's a beginning of good things to come in the long term of it. When you have this kind of a positive rating and a stable outlook, it will ginger investors to begin to look into Nigeria, and it will promote investment generally. And the one thing is that it's because they are seeing positive outlooks and they are seeing structures that are being put in place. Once these are being put in place, and we can be deliberate and intentional in making sure that our policies are being followed up. Because if we look at that rating as well, they said they saw a kind of backtracking in some of these reforms, but our reforms are good. And we have to follow it through. And that is one of the good things that, excuse me, I think Cardoso has said, a new central bank governor, that is going to follow through the core mandate of Central Bank of Nigeria. If we follow through most of these things and we are transparent about it, I think the future is good for this country.
And talking about transparency, we know Fitch also raised concerns over the proposed $10 billion forex loan, which the government plans to use to, offset the forex backlogs and inject liquidity into the system. What kind of clarity do you think the government should give on this?
There's no doubt about that we need more transparency. Imagine for how many years ago that central bank did not come up with yearly reports. So when you look at this, that it is something that has to be done annually, and they've not done it for quite a number of years. So these are the kind of things, and if you want to take loan and you say you want to use this loan for a particular project, we are not seeing the clarity. Even the citizens of this country, not only Fitch Rating, a lot of all these rating agencies, Moody, S&P, and all of them, they are concerned about some of these things, that most times we take loans, it's not clear. Why are we taking this loan? Where is this loan going to be spent on? How is this loan going to benefit the citizen? And it's just about, we keep hearing about only a few people. This is a country with more than 200 million people. So who are these few people? What has been going on wrong or right? So I think people are concerned, the citizens are concerned, the market is concerned, and this has to be looked into carefully. The oversight function of the Senate, the representatives as well, the lawmakers, they have to sit up and make sure we do the right thing. We can't afford to continue to mess up the situation. We can't afford to continue to lose our credibility. And this is one thing that the reforms, people said, okay, we're all glad these reforms are coming up, but how far can we go about this reform? We see some of these things that are going on. Look at how Nigeria has been, the oil industry has been badly, depleted, with stealing all over the place. We have illegal refineries all over the place. We cannot even do the right thing. So with this battle going on, if we can fight it well, and it is not just telling us that you want to do this alone. Let's bring some people, let's punish some people who are doing the wrong thing, so that it will not just be easy go, easy come. But I know that the most important thing now is not just about punishing, it's just about doing the right thing and making sure no one has the opportunity to go into such business again. And I think if central bank is straightforward in their business, doing their core business they are supposed to do, I think it will continue to give us a better rating in the future.
Right, and definitely we see the CBN governor there assuring that the CBN under his leadership will focus on price stability. Will definitely be tracking efforts with that. But with this stable outlook, from Fitch right now, what are you seeing going forward for Nigeria's credit rating if we continue at this momentum?
If we continue, you will see more investors looking towards Nigeria. Right now, we have a good chance of improving our export potentials. Look at the mining sector. The mining sector has not been well coordinated in the past. So if we begin to coordinate it better, and there's a lot of opportunity in the mining sector, a lot of opportunity in the agri sector. But the point now is this: the inflation is rising, is trending, because most people, they want to see this, not just the Fitch rating, which is positive, which is stable market. They want to see their pockets to be very stable. They want to see their kitchen having a stable rating as well, because there is hunger in the land, and a lot of things that, the government needs a lot of money, no doubt about that. But we have to bring in supply. We have to consider, it's supply and demand, people will say, but we have to bring in the supply of food, the supply of things that will make the people comfortable, the good health. We have to invest in that. Now we saw that even the Senate, they said, okay, listen, we will take that the yacht out of it, whatever has been planned on it. But we see there is no transparency in some of these things. Then the other day, a senator came out and said, listen, this yacht has been bought, has been delivered. And then we are saying that we're just putting it in the budget, in the supplementary budget. So there must be clarity in most of these things we are doing. And we need to know, to be specific, if it is true, this thing has been delivered, why are we just putting it in the budget now? So a lot of all these things have to come out. The government has to come out clean and let the people, let the citizens understand what is going on. I tell you what, Larry, most of the citizens of this country, they don't know what is GDP. They don't know what is NPR, MPC, and all those kind of meetings with you. They just want to see that they look at, after their salary, at the end of the month, what comes into their pocket, what comes into the kitchen. They want to know the price of rice. Has it gone down? Will this thing benefit me? Will my children? Can we eat well? Can we live well? That is what is important. And I think that's what the government too has to concentrate on. You see, the foreign exchange is an issue. And you see, if the manufacturers cannot manufacture, what do we have to benefit from it? And if the manufacturers have to manufacture and they cannot sell, what do we have to benefit from it? These are the layman's attitude, layman's language. These are the things they want to hear, and these are the things they want to understand. But going forward, it's a brighter chance for Nigeria. We have the opportunity. We are now, let me say this, people are now looking up to us and say, listen, Nigeria is a good place now. Because they see after this Supreme Court legitimacy now to say, look, the president can now go to work without so much hindrances. So now, they now want to see all this reform. How far can we put this reform? How far can we go with it? So if we come together as citizens and the government, and we are sure we want to do something good, look at what that gentleman is doing in the Ministry of Interior. A lot of things, a lot of ideas are coming up, but let us see it through, let us walk through, so that this country will be respected internationally. We have taken so much loan, not until S&P came and said, look, this is our foreign reserve, this is what we have. Let us be truthful. What do we have? And let us know how we're spending it. So this is very critical. If the rating agencies, both local or the global and the local ones, cannot see transparency in it, then we'll see have a problem to resolve in the nearest future.
Definitely, we need a lot of transparency. And talking about, the CBN governor's assurance about focusing on price stability at this time, we've seen in other climes, they've raised rates from 2022 into 2023, trying to tame inflation. And inflation has been responding, out there. But looking at our inflation rate now, 26%, what else does the MPC and the CBN, what else do they have in their arsenal, at this time to tame inflation? Because they've been raising rates since 2022 also, but we're not seeing the impact on inflation. What else is in the arsenal to try and to help defeat inflation at this time?
Even if they've been raising rates and they've been trying to make things happen, the most important thing is this, even the inflow. If we have the inflow, and the inflow is being channeled into the right places, we will see these things happening. But we don't have the track record of the inflow. We don't know how this inflow is being managed. So a lot of things has to do with management. A lot of things have to do with, how tidy we can make things work. But in the long run, if it is not just increasing the rates, it is how we manage the economy. It is how we manage everything that we have. We can increase the rate, and if you are not managing the inflow, if you are not managing the outflow, if you are not managing things rightly, it will still remain as if we have not done anything. So it is about management, it is about tracking what we have, and how do we justify the spendings of the government. You see, it's a lot of things, and that is why it is not something that we can just sit down and justify within a couple of days or a couple of months. But I know time is running out because the people are, the slogan then is not what they are seeing, and they want to see more of the slogan that the future is brighter, but they want to begin to see the brighter future from now on. So economically, we have to grow. Economically, we have to be able to track our records. And economically, we have to be able to supply what the demand. But can we meet the demands? No, we may not be able to meet the demand. But it's a good story to hear that, the backlog of the forex and is being settled. Look at the aviation sector that was almost, turned down or bankrupt. But we're doing that now, and that is a good signal as well. So now, do we have the enough to even give our local operators? Listen, in the last few weeks, we had that Ibom Air, make their first trip to Ghana. Yes, good intention, good idea. So we need more locally and internationally as well. So if more can be done to track what we have, how we are managing it, it's about management. If we don't manage it well, if we spend unnecessarily, we will not see the effect, and we will see the inflation rising until we begin to do the right thing. We just have to do the right thing. Increasing the rate alone will not bring inflation, will not bring down inflation unless we have proper management.
All right, and last week, the supplementary budget was trending last week. The Senate speedily passed that supplementary budget, about 2.18 trillion. So looking at this speedy passage, at this time, what do you make of it? The Senate did say they did it for Nigerians, but what do you make of this speed, when it comes to the passage of this supplementary budget?
First of all, politically, you will see that it seems there's a good chemistry between the executive and the lawmakers. So that one is there. I mean, but at the end of the day, it is not just passing this supplementary budget. But the good thing is they said, listen, the student loans have to take off. We need to, jack it up maybe with some billions, and that's what we have done so that the students can start having their loan as soon as possible. Good idea. And we have removed this presidential yacht from the whole thing. Good ideas. But then the point is this: we are getting some refund. I mean, it is written as well that the looted money, or whatever, how it is being described, France is returning that money to us in billions of dollars. How are we going to spend this money? Who is going to get what ministry? We have to come clear on all these things, and that is why I keep emphasizing on transparency. And we have to fight corruption as well, because people are not interested that after some time we hear stories again on what has happened. What are we going to do with these billions if we are going to take loan? This is not a loan. This is our money. This is the money that belongs to Nigeria, and they are returning it to us. So we are not even asking them the interest on that loan. They cannot keep the money for years, and they said there's no interest on it. But they are returning the money, and we have to know, how do we spend this money? Who spends, who gets what? And these are the areas the government has to come clear. There should be a good communication between the government and the people, where we have to understand what is going on. There should be dialogue, and people have to have that freedom as well to ask and to be given the answer. You see, we have to see people, I don't think this government, people have given out, declare their assets. People have to declare their assets. People have to tell us what and what and what. There are rules. Even the bankers, the head of the banks, they have to declare their assets. Have we been doing that? Are we going to start doing that? It is a part of the structure that is being put in place. If we put a good structure in place, it will be difficult for us not to have this thing being properly monitored. But the structures have to be put in place first, whereby declare your assets. And let us know how money is being spent. Let us know how much have we brought into this country. NMPC has to come up with their own policies as well. Is it a limited liability company, as they call it, or we are going into a public liability company? So if it's all these things, who are the directors? Do they direct accordingly? Who are on the boards? So how many years do they serve on the board? Who appoints them? All these things, they need answers, and they have to be clear about it, so that we know exactly there is no cause for alarm, and there is future. We have to think about now and the future. So if we don't know it now, are we going to know it in the future? I bet you it might be no. So let us know it now, so that we can expect that in the nearest future, if we have a stable economy, then it will be stable for a long time, and we can grow from that stability.
All right.
It's a good thing to have a stable economy.
Right, so much to unpack there. Thank you so much, Mr. Joe Femi-Dagunro, public policy analyst. It was great having your perspective, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Laddie.
Thank you. All right, still to come on Business Morning, we'll drill down on the drivers of the Naira's recent strengthening. That was last week. That's our next conversation. Do stay with us.